Hello everyone, back from my vacation. Let's go. Starting off with Burn the Midnight Oil again. I can't I don't remember what we're doing. Bat. Is that us? Oh wait, we were flirting with that man. I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Miss Cersei. Oh my god, I was pausing the video again. Jump scare. She transforms just in time to land on her feet inside. What voice did I give her? I can't even remember. Well, who cares? Who the hell does he think he is? Oh my god, Scandy! She stalks around the tiny space, tearing off her clothes while cursing Abraxas in every language known to mankind. She's never known anyone more frustrating. Oh, I'm sure he is frustrating. What? Frustratingly kissable? What? Who said that? It's crazy. She pulls a stop in front of the mirror so she can adjust her underclothes and check her makeup. But her reflection makes her pause. Sometimes I wish myths were true and vampires didn't have reflections. When she sees herself in the mirror, she can never resist picking her appearance apart. Red lips painted that color so her mouth would match her eyes. The black hair she frantically restyles with every change of the season. The body that stopped aging the year she thinks she turned 22, only a few short days of 23. She tries to carry herself to show she's older than she looks, but staring herself down in the mirror, she can't help but feeling hopelessly young. In the near 100 years of her existence, she's reinvented herself dozens of times. So why do I still look like that? What? Bonneville! Hey, find something else to do. There's a scratcher there, and there, and there. Bros, be real. Is there like a thing? Like, how do I get her to stop scratching the carpet? I don't understand. She has so many scratchers, and she still chooses to scratch my carpet, the chair. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm talking about you, menace. Anyways. So why do I still look so alike the girl I used to be? I wish I could forget her, but every time I see myself, there she is. At least she's beautiful, a small mercy. I'm too old to mope around like this. Cersei picks her clothes back up and slips them back on. It's embarrassing, really, letting Abraxas shake her confidence like this. Meow! She smirks. Back again, I see. She quiets her steps, sneaking around as she searches for the little intruder. Come out, wherever you are. She catches the culprit under a haphazardly discarded bra. Her neighbor's cat. Oh my god. Oh my god, I thought that was my cat. Jump scare. How did she manage to escape your owner this time, She pss at Ellie. Ooh. Info by Ellie. Neighbor's cat. She likes to sneak into her flat, luring her from her hiding spot. She's not sure the sound actually makes a difference. The cat just seems to really like her. Or why else would you sneak in here all the time, She picks up the cat, cradling her in her arms and pressing a kiss to her head. Poor Miss Harris has to be worried sick about you. Wait here, I'll have Eddie take you home. Meow! I'll take that as a yes, man. Good kitty. Downstairs, she finds Edgar hunched over his desk, nose buried in a mountain of paperwork. Humans who work with Sensei for 20 years now. He manages their clients' paperwork and anything else Cersei doesn't want to deal with herself. Thorn Investigations is named after him. Oh, okay. Hold on, dudes. I need to let my cat out. She's being crazy. Okay, I've let her out to go run circles around the rest of my house. Hey, you look different. I think. I kind of can't remember. When Eddie's working, he might as well be dead to the rest of the world. The only sign he's actually a living person, and not an eerily realistic statue, is when his hand moves to scratch his 5 o'clock shadow. Sometimes it's all too easy to forget that Edgar isn't the same boy I met 20 years ago. Edgar is the only human companion she's ever had. She knows their relationship isn't conventional. Vampires don't keep the company of humans they aren't feeding on or sleeping with or planning to change. But Edgar isn't a blood bag or a quick fuck or a toy to her. He's a friend, perhaps her only friend in this world. I thought that other girl was our friend. I'm confused. Was that lady not our friend? I thought she was our friend too. When we first met, we looked the same age. Perhaps that's why I don't feel so strange. Why it feels so strange to watch him grow while I don't. Growing old suits him. Where he used to be cute, he's now handsome. Oh, he's definitely better looking. At least in her opinion, that is. What do I think is normal for her? Oh my god, sorry, my mouse is not responding to literally anything. It's kind of annoying. I'm gonna turn it. Hello? Like, what is happening? Oh my god, I overwrote the other save too. Well, that's live. That's live. Yeah, sure, scare him. Why not? Bleh! Give me all your blood. What? In his surprise, the back of Edgar's hand knocks over his coffee mug. Oops. Her quick reflexes catch it before any of the coffee spills, knowing Edgar would lose it if anything stains on his precious documents. Edgar wipes the sweat from his brow, breathing out in a faint sigh. That was close. As soon as his immediate relief is over, he scowls. You're a little old for peekaboo, don't you think? I'm a little too old for most things. If I let my age stop me, I'd have a very boring eternity ahead of me. She sits down on the edge of his desk. You'll never guess what happened again, Abraxas messed up the job, didn't he? She was talking about Ellie, but being reminded of Abraxas sours her mood. How did you know? Heard you cursing up a storm upstairs. Ah, right. Thin floors. Edgar doesn't ask for the details, well aware Cersei will supply them regardless. It never takes much for her to go off on another one of her rants about Abraxas and the supernatural secrecy force. They've been a thorn in their operations since the very start. Separate from the Natural Crime Division, the SSF are an intelligence agency specialized in so-called counterterrorism. Bluntly speaking, they've been ordered to do whatever it takes to ensure the existence of supernaturals remains a secret from the larger world. They spy and manipulate the narrative behind the scenes, only stepping forward when an incident grows big enough that it threatens exposure. On occasion, they will directly eliminate assumed threats. The SSF higher-ups are all mortals, but they send supernaturals like Abraxas to do the dirty fieldwork for them. Many would insist that the SSF are just a necessary evil, but everyone still thinks supernaturals who join up are sellouts. Innocence, or guilt, matters little to the SSF. Their job is quite literally to brush things under the rug, usually at the expense of non-humans. Cities that have experienced a rise in vampires don't let the SSF anywhere near it if they can help it. Refers to a historical event in which a single or several vampire clans have set up a stronghold in a region. Aside from wizards, these strongholds tend to shun the presence of other non-humans. In the past decade, Paris has been Europe's largest vampire stronghold. On the other hand, the British vampire population, once prosperous, has been on the decline for generations. But in places like North Haven, it's hard to get all the different non-humans to agree on anything other than not wanting humans to discover us. I'm not surprised they intervened again, but I am surprised they haven't shut down Thorn investigations yet, given our egregious list of violations. I don't like Abraxas any more than you do, but I've got to give it to him. His patience with you has been impressive. Careful? That almost sounded like a compliment. But Edgar's not wrong. Cersei should be a major liability in SSF's book. She's been bent or outright broken the rules plenty of times, yet Abraxas doesn't report half of the stuff that she gets up to. Because of that, he now seems to believe she owes him some kind of favor. As if I ever asked for his help. You know what? Maybe he fancies you. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think we should kiss. What? Who said that? Guys, it's our first. We're back from the break. You gotta be respectful. We can't be acting fool already. We just got here. Kiss? What? My colossal ego is inclined to agree, but I don't think that's it. Besides, he's married. Boo! Boo! That's no fun. Whatever. Oh. I'm sorry. Sally King to your wife who is dead. But his wife passed away ages ago. And yet, even after all this time, he hasn't taken off his wedding ring. About 15 years ago, when they'd spoken face to face for the first time, it had been one of the first things she noticed about him. At the time, she'd been disappointed, assuming his wife was still alive, but she's done a lot of awful things without guilt. But sleeping with a married man was one of the things she would like to avoid. Period. In hindsight, she recognizes she dodged a bullet, even if only barely. It's a long time, I suppose. Edgar scratches his nose bridge, giving away how nervous he is. It never fails to amuse her how easy he is to read. Well, that's quite sad, isn't it? He must have loved her very much. It must be painful, missing someone for that long. I guess. Cersei knows far too well what it feels like to mourn someone you'll never hold again. It doesn't have to mean that you loved them. But Edgar wouldn't be thinking about her experience in this moment. He must be thinking about his sister. On to more fun matters. Remember what day it is today? With everything going on tonight, she'd nearly forgotten herself, so she can't say she blames him when Edgar pulls a face that he says he definitely doesn't remember. Of course I remember. It's February 19th? 21st. First of all, it's March. Is it really? I can never tell when it's raining all year round anyway. Oh, fine, I'll tell you. It's our anniversary. Or what? It's been 20 years since the night we first met. Oh. Is that something to celebrate? Joke about it. I don't know about you, but I'm surprised we made it this long. Now that's something we can agree on. Wasn't one of us supposed to kill the other by now? He says it lightly, but he's half serious. One of them should be dead by now. Edgar lights a cig, barely hiding a grin when he shoves it between his lips. Cersei smirks back at him. This kind of banter has been a long part of the daily routine. She provokes him, he retorts with some snark. They laugh and roll their eyes and then rinse and repeat. It had taken a while to get here, of course. When they first met, Edgar was so angry with the world, he took everything as an insult. He's mellowed it out over the years, gotten better at reserving his anger for when it's actually warranted. Most of the time. I should let our client know that we didn't get the Fangling. Blech. It's annoying, but they don't have any other option. Their anonymous client was clear in their instructions. Seth must die tonight, or else no reward. With Seth in the SSF's custody, there's no way they can get to him before the sunup. I just realized we'll have to return the deposit, won't we? It's just the right thing to do. Can we afford to do that? Per your request, we've taken fewer jobs as of late, so we're stretched thinner than usual. If we want to feel more secure about keeping the lights on, we could take a few more cases. Or spend loss on clothes. Why would I do either of those things when you're always working so hard to ensure we're a month ahead on rent? I've only got so much hair here, Cersei. And I've only got so many dresses. Edgar heaves a sigh. Thought you might say that. I'll just take it out of my own pay, then. She nods, pleased with his quick thinking. Anyway, that can wait until tomorrow. Let's go to the Golden Cat to celebrate our 20th. A pub frequented by supernaturals. The name is based on the original owner's cat. Both Cersei and Dante frequent the Golden Cat after work. Okay, Dante is the other protag that we have not played. You don't need to use our anniversary as an excuse. We go there every night. But tonight is special. Drinks on me. Well, technically it's our rapidly depleting business funds that we'll be paying, but the sentiment stands. You sure do know how to spoil a bat. So that's a yes? Yes, yes. Alright, let me fetch my coat. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something important? Knock, 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 knock. They share a knowing look. I know only one person who knocks like that. You take it. But I always answer the door. Who's that? Only because you're so good at it. Edgar puts out his cig and walks over to the door, opening it to reveal Edgar, Cersei, thank goodness you're still here. Miss Harris, the next-door neighbor, rushes inside. Elderly neighbor who lives next door to Thorne Investigations. She never complains about the strange guests who frequent her neighbors at odd hours. She's a kind old woman who thankfully never complains about the suspicious people going in and out of Thorne Investigations at all hours. Helps that her eyesight isn't what it used to be. Same goes for her hearing, actually. Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I know how busy you are doing your detective work, saving the day and all that, but I can't find my baby anywhere. Her baby being the cat, Ellie. I feel awful to bring this to you at this hour, but would you mind looking for her? I couldn't sleep knowing she's out there somewhere in the cold, alone and lost. Shivering to death, my poor baby! Her wailing is loud enough to wake up the entire building. Edgar starts to sweat. Edgar doesn't look like he's in the mood to go on a cat hunt. Lucky for him, we won't have to. Good news, we already found her. Her bawling immediately stops. You did? Yeah, she's upstairs. She is. Edgar guides Miss Harris to the sofa. She sinks into it with relief. How lucky I am to have the city's finest detectives as my neighbors. It's not hard to find someone who's hiding inside your own home. Cersei retrieves Ellie from upstairs, hesitantly returning her to her owner. Edgar watches the exchange with amusement. He's been nagging for ages that she should just stroll down to the shelter and pick up a cat of her own. Sadly, I lack the confidence to keep something alive. Oh, thank you, thank you. Miss Harris hugs her cat into her chest, and Ellie lets out a not-so-pleased meow. You saved my baby again. How could I ever repay you two? It's nothing. We're just glad to help you anytime, free of charge. Nonsense! I'll bake you biscuits and bring them over tomorrow. Knowing she wouldn't even be able to eat them, and no good would come from having Miss Harris lurking around unless necessary, Cersei tries to tell her. There's really no need. We'd love that. Thank you so much. Seriously? Edgar looks offended. I'm always serious about dessert. Very good, Miss Thorne. It is important for growing boys to eat plenty. Isn't he like 40? Good joke. The only thing Edgar's growing is a pitiful beard. Edgar rubs his jaw. And for that, you need plenty of calories. Sure, sure. Cersei gently gets Miss Harris up out of her chair and guides her to the door. Whole way there, Miss Harris rambles about what she's gonna bake tomorrow. Cersei almost has to shove her out the door. When it's finally shut behind her, Cersei turns to glare at Edgar. What? It'd be oh. Wrong person. What? It'd be foolish of me to turn away free food. Anyway, with Miss Harris gone, there's only one thing left to do. Drinks. Drinks. Hell yeah! Oh, this is cute! The golden cat is almost the polar opposite of the Elysium. All supernaturals and even fewer humans who are in the know come here. Sorry, getting a little sip. As long as you keep your fangs, claws, wands, and whatever you've got to yourself, you're welcome to pop in for a drink. Entering the pub, Cersei's eyes immediately hone in on one guest in particular. Oh look, it's your little friend. Who's that? Raoul! Dante's partner. Oh my god, they're gonna kiss! What? And one of the few humans in the SCD. Thanks to his family's connections and the knowledge, Raoul got glimpses into the world of supernaturals very early, and his fascination with it has only grown, ultimately resulting in him joining the SCD. Raoul, a local cop with muscles that aren't just for show. He's seated near the bar, nursing a beer in one hand. Don't call him that. The way you phrase it makes it sound indecent. But he is your friend. Last I checked, your only friend. I have other friends. There's Richard, back in my hometown, though I haven't spoken to the Pratt in some time, or even thought about him in a while. And there's you. We're friends, aren't we? Oh, of course. Embarrassed by how much his words mean to her, Cersei's quick to change the subject. Thankfully, Edgar doesn't seem to mind, looking more than a little flustered himself. By the way, Raoul's, gay, right? What makes you say that? He has never responded to any of my flirting. Perhaps he's just not into you? No, he's definitely gay. Damn. She only flirts with Raoul to mess with Edgar, but it still surprises her when Edgar hasn't noticed his friend's not into women. Is he really so oblivious, or is Raoul just that private? Maybe it's easy for her to tell because she also enjoys the company of her own sex. Wait, you've been flirting with him? That's what he was mulling over? They walk up to Raoul and Edgar greets him first. Evening, Raoul. Did you get off work early tonight? Edgar and Raoul have an interesting friendship, if you can call it that. They meet up every few weeks, but it's never a planned thing. They'll just sit next to each other and chat over a few drinks, bonding over being humans in a world of supernaturals or whatever. Oh, hey Edgar. Unfortunately, I'm still on the clock. Good to see you as well, Cersei. How have you been? Raoul nods to Cersei, acknowledging her too. He's smiling, but she can tell it's out of politeness. She can't tell if it's out of politeness or if he's genuinely happy to see them. Sure. But what about you? Are you here on official business? Anything we should look out for? Well... She takes a look around. Where's your pup, by the way? Rare to see you without him. Barely a moment after he's mentioned, Cersei watches Dante, Raoul's police partner, step inside the bar. Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah. Hey! Speak of the devil. Or werewolf, I guess, if we're being technical. Dante's a little out of sorts, hair sticking up even more than usual. He notices them immediately, but doesn't spare them as much as a grunt of acknowledgement. Rubbing his arm, he instead stops at the other side of the bar to order a beer. I've always thought him a loose cannon, waiting to burst, but he looks especially on edge tonight. Something's rattled him. Then again, Dante's never behaved the way that you would expect an officer to. Perhaps that's why I mind him less. Is he avoiding us? And what if he is? I think he can hear you. Yeah, that was the point. She raises her voice. Perfect timing, Dante. We were just talking about you. What? No, we weren't. You do realize that when you say it like that, you're only sounding more suspicious. Cersei. Raoul rests his chin on his palm, watching the scene with a little too much amusement for her liking. For some reason, Dante seriously freaks Edgar out. Now this shouldn't be so surprising because Edgar's been easily scared as long as Cersei's known him. However, he's especially intimidated by Dante. It's his good looks or whatever. That outfit crazy. Lick what? Guys, be respectful. Be respectful. We're not looking at anything. What? To his defense, Dante does look like he'd punch your lights out if you look at him the wrong way on the wrong day. But you'd have to be pretty stupid to try something on Eddie while I'm around. In the meantime, Dante has picked up a beer and walked over. He offers a nonchalant wave with his free hand, which is probably as good as a greeting as you'll get from him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning, or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. Just ran into Abraxas. Seen him recently? Being reminded of Abraxas' existence again sets a frown on her face. Not really. When Dante smirks, Cersei knows he's gotten exactly what he wanted by bringing up Abraxas. I heard he and his agents were snooping around that museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. A museum? An explosion? Could be related to why Abraxas needed Seth. Guess they'll be wandering... what? Guess they'll be wandering all around the city till that's sorted, keeping an eye on things. If you haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will. A lot. His smugness shifts to curiosity. Heard anything about that, though? I'm not sure why you're asking me. I haven't got a clue what they're up to. Speaking from experience, it's best if it stays that way. Actually, why do you even care? Aren't the SSF and the police supposed to stay out of each other's business as much as they can? Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on. Raoul wouldn't tell us anything, but maybe you will. He didn't give me the chance to say anything. As if he would have told me the truth if I did. She could have forced him to, if she really wanted to. She could have used compulsion on either of them right now, and there wouldn't be too much they could do about it. Dante's trickier because he's about as stubborn as one gets, but Raoul's only human. She wouldn't, though. Not because she's squeamish about compelling either of them. She's just not curious enough. Damn, couldn't be me! What do you mean something's exploding? I want to know. Still, if Dante will tell her anything, she'll take it. Well, since you asked so nicely. No. You suck. I don't. That's your job. Got him. Get fucked. Edgar, itching to get away from Dante, interrupts. Okay, well, you two look busy and we're in desperate need of a drink. We'll leave you to it. But, come on, Cersei. You've bothered them enough for tonight. How dare you? I'm perfectly lovely and pleasant to be around. Raoul waves to Edgar. Good to see you, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. Kiss him? The fuck? He wants you so bad. That's so... What is that called? B-couple? Oh my god, they have so many little couples in here. I just want them all to kiss. Edgar takes her arm and she begrudgingly lets him pull her to another corner of the bar. They have their usual seats close to the bartender. When they drink a lot, so it's good they have easy access. In order to maintain some level of dignity, we've agreed to never discuss exactly how much our income goes into the Golden Cat. The bartender is swift. In 1 minute, they have their usuals in front of them. Some cocktail for Edgar and a totally not conspicuous glass of red wine for Cersei. So, when are we going to address the elephant in the room? Edgar sips, raising a single brow at Cersei's question. I'm talking about your addiction to sugar. Should be criminal to even call that a drink. It's about 1% alcohol and 109% sugar. Not quite sure those numbers add up. Besides, what right do you have to judge anyone's choice of drink when you order the same thing every night? Why waste money on alcohol when it just spoils the taste of what I really want? I thought alcohol enhanced the taste of blood. Actually, I can't believe I've never asked you that before. She knows exactly why he hasn't asked. With each year that passes, Edgar grows more determined to avoid acknowledging what she really is. Depends on the vamp, but nothing will ever beat drinking it fresh from the tap. And have you started doing that again? She doesn't miss the regret in his eyes before he averts them. She still can't help the irritation she feels at what he's insinuating. Not since I ended things with Lazarus, you know that. Right. But you think that's a lie. I didn't say that. Even if I were doing it, it's not like I'm a fangling. I'm not like the fangling I met tonight. I have self-control. I'm fully capable of making my own decisions. I don't drink from people who don't want me to, and I certainly don't drain people. So you can stop looking at me like I bit your pasty ass. Edgar's face falls in his hands, but his trembling shoulders do little to conceal his laughter. It's not funny, I'm annoyed with you. I know, I'm sorry. Sorry I'm annoyed? Sorry you said it in the first place? Both? She's grinning now too. Then why the laughter? Why do you have to call me pasty? You know I've been trying real hard to build a tan. You should give up on that. You're only adding to the constellation of freckles on your face. I thought you liked my freckles. I said that? Well, I must have been lying, since I'm apparently lying about everything these days. He grimaces. Seems he thought she was going to let that one get swept under the rug. I'm sorry, Cersei. I didn't mean to accuse you. I know you're not like that. I know you wouldn't. It's just hard to forget the shit I've seen. The things I know you're capable of when you weren't held back by your own morals. It always comes back to this, huh? Edgar only likes the Cersei who stands up against her own kind and looks out for the weak. Not the Cersei who lures strangers into her bed and sucks their blood. I don't know how to tell him that I'm both, so I don't. Nothing's holding me back. You make it sound like I'm forced to do this, but I chose to. It's not an easy choice. She's been like that Fangling. She's been worse, and it was fun. But she doesn't want to know how Edgar will look at her if she confesses that to him. I understand. Except he doesn't. Therein lies the problem. Edgar clears his throat and puts on a smile that trembles at the corners. We're here to celebrate. We should talk about happier things, shouldn't we? Courtesy of decades of practice, the smile she puts on herself is a lot more convincing. Right. Like your girly choice of drink. We're still on that? Hey, aside from the increased risk of diabetes, I find it cute that you have a sweet tooth. At 44 years old, being described as cute is no longer very flattering, but, shit, wait a second. He presses a finger to his lips and then motions to the radio playing on the counter. The news is on. Local authorities have stated a gas leak caused the explosion at Beaumont Museum last night. A private museum belonging to the Beaumonts, a historically renowned wizard family. The only known living member of Beaumont family is Renaud Beaumont, who retired decades ago but hasn't been heard of since. Most exhibitions are off limits to humans, but there is a public wing to keep up the appearance of being a normal museum. Besides the public wing, all other exhibitions are only available for visitors upon invitation. Due to recent incidents, the museum closed until further notice. Beaumont Museum. That's where Dante and the SSF were digging around, right? The museum doors will remain closed to the public until repairs on the private wing are complete. Blah, blah, blah. Among other news, the body of a 23-year-old Jane Stewart was found last night. Earlier this month, Miss Stewart was reported missing. My God, has human news always been this boring? It's always the same thing. Someone was robbed, someone was murdered, someone was kidnapped. At least there's an explosion involved this time, but what's the aftermath? The next day, there's something else. Not anything worse, but not anything better either. You don't have to listen to the news to know how terrible the world can be. Just step outside. Ever been? Edgar and Cersei look up at the bartender. What, to Beaumont Museum? It's owned by one of the greatest wizards of our time. I don't know if we've read this one yet. Oh, it's got a lot of words. I can't scroll, though. Wait. Ooh, I got it for a second. Oh, I guess that's the end of it. I don't know why it's so cut off, but whatever. A subspecies of human born with the ability to use their life force as magic. Their substantial life force grants them double, sometimes even triple, the life expectancy of normal humans. Yuck. They are immune to most human diseases. Although it varies from one wizard to another, no wizard has unlimited life force. When a wizard has exerted their supply, they must take time to rest and recover. Otherwise, they may experience magic sickness. Magic sickness is curable in the early stages, but if a wizard continues to ignore the warning signs, they risk never being able to use magic again. In the absolute worst cases, it can lead to death. Throughout history, wizards have formed several societies ranging from small covens to larger communities. Renaud Beaumont, one of the greatest wizards of the 1900s supposedly. No one's actually ever seen Renaud Beaumont in decades. Rumor says he left all of his research and businesses in the hands of his successor, Simone Beaumont, before disappearing to live out the rest of his days in solitude. Beaumont Museum, which houses various magical valuables belonging to the Beaumont family, can be found in North Haven. Sorry, my mouse has been acting freaky. I might have to buy a new one. Because I replaced the battery and it still acts like that. So, never heard of him. What makes him so great? Many things. For starters, Cersei doesn't bother to listen, focused on twirling her drink around in her glass. But Edgar nods along, genuinely interested for whatever reason. Girl, I want to be interested. Damn, we picked the girl who could not care. Anyway, he has to be ancient now. He's retired from the public eye decades ago. Hell yeah. If he's even still alive, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't know what's happened to his family's museum. Maybe we should set it on fire again and make sure he gets the memo this time. You wouldn't, actually, would you? Want to find out? You have an annoying habit of doing the opposite of what I ask you, so no comment. The bartender leaves to serve another customer. Edgar starts patting his pockets. Bollocks, I'm all out. Don't hold yourself back on my account. The corner shop still should be open. Sure you wouldn't mind me leaving you alone? He's already climbed up to his feet. I think I'll live, or at least not die. Again. I'll be back in no time. Bye! He's our friend! I like our friend. And he's gone. Sugar, coffee, cigs. Humans sure have a lot of stupid vices. She stares down at her drink. Not that mine are any better. She sips slowly, letting her eyes roam the room. She's not sure where the compulsion came from. It's not as if she'll discover anything new. It's always the same old faces. No, wait. She's definitely new. Oh, she's cute. Like the design. It's like Cersei meets eyes with a woman at the far end of the pub. Beauty is no stranger to Cersei. She's seen it in many faces, many bodies, and even a few hearts. But this woman isn't just beautiful. She's. The woman smiles. Cersei feels compelled to return her smile. I ain't doing that shit. She's a witch! Uh-oh. Chat. No, don't overwrite it. Please. No, fuck you. Not wanting to encourage any conversation, Cersei tries to look away, but it's harder than it should be. Something holds her in place, forcing her to keep the woman's stare. What the hell? Her eyes finally tear free and she shakes her head, staring down at her drink. That was strange. Wait. Cersei's head snaps up, but the woman's already gone, nowhere to be seen. Only in her absence does Cersei realize that she couldn't detect what the woman was. Whoever or whatever that woman was, she means trouble. Want her is crazy. I don't know what want her means. I want to know things about her. She seems like someone who can get us in a lot of trouble. No. Well, honestly, yeah, let's see what want her is. I want to speak with her. It makes no sense, but I want to see her again. I want to know her. I want her. Not her blood, not her body, not her heart. Cersei wants the mystery she offers, and it's exactly what she's been looking for. A mystery, time-consuming enough to end the perpetual boredom eating away at her. Preoccupied by her thoughts, Cersei barely notices Edgar's return. He slips off his jacket and slides into the seat, and gestures for another round of drinks from the bartender. What took you so long? Ran into some trouble. Don't be stingy with the details. What kind of trouble? He lights a cig, angling his body towards her. Their knees brush, but neither move away, used to the lack of personal space. Well, so you see... No, never mind. Are you blushing? My God, you are! Not on purpose. Unfortunately, I don't think it's me having this effect on you, so it must be something else. Edgar twists and squirms in his seat. Or someone else? Was asked... Oh, he was asked out on a date! That took me way too long to read. I said, what's that? He spits the words out so fast, Cersei would have missed them if not for her supernatural hearing. Dude, I had to read that 3 times. Don't play. You're messing with me. I wish I was. This is stressing me out. Wait, you said yes? What? Obviously I said no. Why? Why would it be so obvious? Was there something wrong with her? No, she was pretty and nice and smelled good. Too many details now. Sorry, I just thought she had nice perfume. You'd like it, actually. You're only making a weirder. I said no because it never would have worked. She's human. As are you. But I don't live like one. Excuses, excuses. Think about it for a second. I run a supernatural detective agency. How do I explain that to someone outside of this business? Not to mention how I'm up all night, asleep most of the day. No sane, normal person would want to be with someone like me. I know someone who would. I know someone who would. I know someone who would. Have you ever thought about, I know someone who would? Yeah. Oh, come on. So what if she's doesn't fit into your normal schedule? You make some time when you're in love. Love? God, I definitely don't have time for that. Not when there are clients to be managed and bills to be paid and you don't have to work all the time, Eddie. You can take a night off. Wait, you can take off one night of drinking to get laid. Shh, what if someone hears you? Oh, come on, you're a grown man. You can't possibly still be embarrassed by the word sex. I'm not, but we're in public. Sex, 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 sex. Jesus Christ. Breeding, mating, copulating, fornicating. And what does you Brits say? Shagging. Cersei's cackling like a madwoman while Edgar hisses under his breath. Cersei, I am begging you to stop. Edgar looks like he's about to explode from embarrassment, anxiously glancing around to make sure no one's heard her. Cersei doesn't have the heart to remind him that they're at a bar for supernaturals. Almost everyone's guaranteed to have overheard. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to be with someone, even if it's only for a night? Ew. The hand is crazy. He looks... He looks like that guy from the Atlantis one, but I can't remember the full name of it. Something Atlantis. Something Atlantis, something. Edgar laughed, shaking his head, more to himself than in response to her words. Somehow I'd prefer to be here. Aw, with me? I wouldn't necessarily consider your presence to be an advantage, but yeah, I'd prefer to be here with you. Cersei brings the glass to her lips, hiding a smile behind it. I don't know. It doesn't give me the option to save. Sure, friends. It's a good thing you said no. It's selfish, but Cersei's pleased that he rejected the stranger. I'd be jealous if he suddenly had less time for us. Their relationship isn't romantic, so it's not like he'd be cheating on her, but she likes their routine. It's the only stable routine she's ever had, and she doesn't want to change that. Besides, he's got a point. It's not like he could still work with her and lead a normal life. That's just not how it works. Of course, there are people like Raoul and Dante's supervisor, Orion, who have human families and try to live just as normally as possible. But Orion's an anomaly, and with time, vampires like him learn the hard way that rejecting your nature never works in the long run. Edgar's different. He could pack his bags, move cities, and go back to living a normal life whenever he wants. As long as he remains here, though, he'll never be able to pull the wool back over his eyes. Honestly, he could just date that cop. Am I crazy? Like, guys, I think he should just date that cop. Edgar taps out the cig in the nearest ashtray. Enough about that. Did I miss anything around here? Nope. For some reason, it doesn't feel right to mention the mysterious woman. Maybe because she knows how Edgar worries, and she doesn't want him to start. The bartender slides their new drinks towards them. They clink glasses. To 20 years of this hellish profession. And to 20 more. Man, you want to be 60 still doing this. In the end, Edgar had one too many drinks. He leans on Cersei the entire walk back to his flat. He stops when they reach his building. He's never invited her upstairs before, but she doubts it'll be any different tonight. Will you make it upstairs on your own? Why wouldn't I? He pushes off her and stumbles up the stairs to the entrance. He almost falls over several times, but by some miracle, he manages to reach the door without breaking any bones. See, he hiccups. Perfectly fine. Right. See you tomorrow night. He waves goodbye, and she waves back. Good night. She waits until he's safely inside the building. Chances are low that he'll die on his way up to the lift, so Cersei begins to stroll back to her own flat. She walks at a leisurely pace, like the threat of low-rising sun will be upon her at any moment now. Like her slow pace might delay the inevitable day. Fun. Okay. We're going to pause it there. It's probably like the end of the day. And honestly, knowing what always happens to me, it's probably also the, I don't understand why it's not working. Bro, I might have to get a new mouse, because this is going to piss me off. But, for all I know, this is the end of the chapter, or the end of the demo, and it's like 10 minutes. It's fine. If it does end up being that short, I'll just play Dante's Have to, because why not? But that's going to be all for this video. I hope you've had so much fun. Maybe as much fun as I've had, maybe even more. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.